this one really pisses me the fuck off, so I'm going to be a tad more ranty in this video than I normally am, and I know that seems almost impossible given my content recently, but this one really pisses me off.
First, we're announcing that the federal government is deferring $1.3 billion in Medicaid reimbursements from the state of California. And the simple reason is because the state of California has not taken fraud very seriously.
Now, it's not just that Medicaid recipients are going to be adversely affected by this, but this also affects a subject close to me. And the way it affects the state of California, it also affects the entire country, because while they're withholding $1.3 billion from California specifically, they've got a hold on a specific amount of spending, or a specific type of spending, nationwide.
JD Vance and Dr. Oz announced today that they were cutting $1.3 billion in Medicaid funding to the state of California. The reason given for this cut was that California has not been diligent enough to root out fraud in its state. California obviously disputes that fact. These funds are going to be specifically cut from hospice programs, home health care programs in the state of California. But in addition to that, the entire United States is on a 6-month freeze from any new enrollment for hospice care. So if you or someone you love needs hospice care in the next 6 months and they get Medicaid, there will be no funding in the entire United States for new cases in the next 6 months. Now, the reason California specifically was targeted for hospice care and home health care is that, according to JD Vance and Dr. Oz, California's rate of enrollment in these programs was higher than the national average, which made it suspicious and, to them, indicates fraud. My opinion is you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I am certain there is fraud and that these things need to be investigated. But to cut all services from everyone, yes, you'll stop some of the fraud, but you're also going to be stopping people who desperately need these care in some of the worst time of their life. Go love your neighbor.
They've initiated a 6-month freeze on new hospice care enrollees who are on Medicaid. First things first, to say that a state has a higher than the national average of enrollments indicates fraud is, with all due disrespect, beyond fucking stupid. You're talking about a national average. Some state has to be higher than, you know what I mean? There's a national average, and then there are states that are above that average and states that are below that average. So does every state that's above that average indicate fraud? Or do you guys just have a fucking hard-on for California? But more to the point, a 6-month freeze. I'm not talking about hospice care from a standpoint of somebody that read a bunch of articles about it, watched a movie about it, read a study about it. People in my life have been on hospice care. Some of the closest people to me, my father. My father passed away at the Joliet Area Hospice Center, and I'm here to tell you that hospice care is essential. It's critical. It's not something to be played with. It's not a bargaining chip to use as a pawn. The fact that this administration has put this 6-month pause on new hospice care enrollees on Medicaid is one more clear example of just how fucking evil these people are. Hospice care my father rotted away for years. Had every ailment you could possibly imagine. Had a team of doctors balancing a host of medications and procedures to keep him functioning for years. For years. And when my father made the conscious decision to say that was enough and go on hospice himself, he lasted 8 days at the Joliet Hospice Center. The first 4 days, he was conscious, he was able to speak, and then, of course, the course of nature took over. Those 4 days were the best 4 days that man had in fucking years. He wasn't in pain. He didn't have any more doctor's appointments. He didn't have any more medication to take. He was smiling. He was talking. It was the best 4 days of his life. If you support the move, I don't give a shit who you are. You could be... you could be anybody. You could be somebody very close to my own wife. That means the world to her. If you support the notion of freezing all new hospice enrollees that are on Medicaid for 6 months, you are an evil piece of shit. And the sick part about it is that when Donald Trump gets to the end of his fucking miserable life, he's going to have the best palliative care you could possibly imagine. People are going to be around him making sure he is comfortable, at ease, not suffering. And he doesn't fucking deserve it. He deserves every ounce of pain and misery that his ailing health could possibly provide him. He deserves to feel every last bit of his body dying in real time. Because he's denying that kind of care to some of the people who need it the most. Of all of the shit that Donald Trump has done, that is evil and horrible and that I despise and that I hate, and that is a long list. We couldn't even go through all of it in a single video. Of all of the shit he has done that has pissed me off, this one is in the Mount Rushmore of shit he's done to piss me off. This shows just how purely evil these motherfuckers are.